YouTube, how are we? Hopefully everybody's having a great day so far. In today's video, we have another day of scrims and what seems to be another pretty successful day for OpTic overall. So as we go ahead and hop into this map, we are on the map Crossroads, and this is the first of two scrims that OpTic had yesterday against a team that everybody is interested in seeing, and what's their development going to be like, and where might they be towards the end of the year, and so on and so forth. This is against, if you haven't seen already in the kill feed, against the Seattle Surge. So talking about this squad overall and this scrim, when it came to the 5 Hardpoint maps, OpTic was 4-1. So it started on Garrison. They won 250 to 180. Did a really nice job on Garrison. Really, the rotations from P2 to P3 is something that I think OpTic is really excelling on when it comes to that Garrison map. On Raid, Envoy went absolutely insane. He had like almost 7,000 damage, so they won Raid 250 to 187, and Envoy was by far, not even close, he was by far the best player on that map. So it's good to see that out of him, because when Chicago was good last year, and really when they were at their best, was when Arcides and Envoy were playing just out of their minds. So if you get that sort of production out of Envoy, I think they're going to be pretty tough to beat. The only map that they lost is, if you haven't guessed already, the only map that they lost was Checkmate. It's by far their worst map. They have been playing it a little bit better as of late. We even went through it a couple videos here over the last week and a half or so. They've been playing it better. It's still by far their least consistent map. It's their worst map. I do think it's one of those things that they'll improve at over time. I think there's just such traditional players like Scump and Formal. They're just such traditional COD players that Checkmate's just a different map, right? With all the open areas, and it's not the classic 3 lanes with a route in the middle between those 3 lanes. It's just different. I think it's going to take them a little bit of time to adjust to that map, but they'll get there. After that, they played Crossroads, which is what you're watching right now. It was by far the biggest deficit, and I just wanted to point it out because I really thought that this was a map Chicago would struggle with, especially most notably when it came to playing other teams with really good SMGs, talking about the Dallases, the Atlantas, you could even throw Minnesota in there with the talent that they have at the SMG position with Attach and Priesta. But as you're watching this, they've just been going off, and Scump played well on this map. Envoy played well on this map, and if you can get that sort of production out of their SMGs. And the other thing I will say real quick, the other thing that really helps them on this map is the P4 hardpoint relocation from the bottom of this left-hand side of the map to the top hand of the left-hand side of this map. And the reason why that helps them so much is because now, as P4 pops, Formal or DASHY, their main ARs, can actually sit inside the hardpoint. They can get time inside the hardpoint while also locking down that dominant route, which you just saw Scump look at over there towards P1. So if Chicago's getting this old P4 spawn, that means Seattle's going to be spawning to the right of P1. And if that's happening, they either have to run through P3 right here or this top lane. And if they run through the top lane, they're probably going to get killed by a main AR that's on a heady. And if they try to run through P3 or up through storage, then the SMGs are probably going to be sitting in there in Scump and Envoy. So I really think that it's helped them a lot on this map. At old P4, the sight lines were much smaller, and as the people that were spawning out, the team that was spawning out, tried to approach P4, there were more items to hide behind. And with new P4, that's just not the case, and I really do think that it helped them out quite a bit. Last map that they played was Moscow. Again, another map with pretty long lines of sight that OpTic's pretty good at. They won that 250 to 186. So for the most part, outside of this map, it was 250, 180, 250, 187, 250, 186, and then they lost 230 to 250 on Checkmate. So even though this map was super one-sided, it's not necessarily as Scump just absolutely fried Octane right there, but it just it seemed a little bit more lopsided than it was. I think everybody would agree that Chicago's, as of right now, is a better team than Seattle, but not saying that's how it's going to stand forever. So we are into the second set of rotations here on our breakdowns. This is normally when I let you guys listen in and hear exactly what they're talking about as they go from hill to hill. Most of the time we spend the first set of rotations talking about how the scrim went and what the strategy is. Second set of rotations we listen in. So without further ado, they've already got a 130-point lead. I mean, this map is just flying by. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's tune in. Let's hear exactly what they're talking about as it just rotated towards P2 in the second set of rotations.
Wow.
We spawn. Yo, one's cat right now, Pierce.
Back to
I could kind of
I'm
shoot this.
save him.
Save him.
Yo, one shot. Yeah.
Helping you.
Top cat. Nice.
Far left,
Nice, Seth. Let's go. One more time.
The one crane, last guy time or whatever.
Rain, Sam, back door.
Give me 30 seconds.
That
Oh,
wasn't
back
it.
door
That
hill.
wasn't him. That wasn't him.
Sam.
I'm
Back
just
door,
blocking. I'm blocking for new.
back door hill. Behind you, Seth.
Backdoor absolute Pristini. Nice.
Let's
Good
go.
wins.
Where you spawning?
Scump is frying.
All of you, Seth. You're in swarm. Attack of
Oh,
animals.
P3, good jump.
One more load.
I think there's one more new somewhere.
Yo, let's get control quick. Hang on.
I mean, think about that. There was nobody else from OpTic over towards P2, and Scump just went on that 6 spree, running across Cat, getting kills inside. Once he got kills inside of P2, he pushed out their spawn, was able to get 1 or 2 off of spawn with both his SMG and the Diamatti, and then he ran back inside P2. I mean, that's you could say that if he was doing that for 20 seconds, that's a 40-point swing. That's 20 points that OpTic did get and 20 points that he single-handedly took away from Seattle. I mean, just a great play out of him all around.
P1. should
Damn,
be dead.
tired,
Okay,
one shot.
Top cat. Weak top cat. Hit him with a.
One shot, Pierce, absolute cat.
A flax.
Barrel door,
Top
one
cat,
shot.
absolute, Pierce.
Two P1, maybe 3.
Cat,
Yeah,
two
3
cat.
of them. Other one there. Last guy, I think.
Cat.
One in the back.
Big there.
Ice spawns, then.
Keep putting pressure
cat.
on this guy.
Other one ice.
Make sure block.
Barrels.
Ice.
P1 Pristini. Hit him
Being
once.
down to new.
Got him.
Ice
You wanna
still
again?
mid, I
You
think.
wanna again,
Ice still
Pierce?
mid.
One more top cat.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one.
I'm to old right now.
Cat got me, Danny.
I'll have a trophy on hill.
I can't get one for you.
He's already close to me. No.
P3.
He's
Back
P3.
P3.
I have your
Back
cat.
P3. One guy deep.
One shot hill.
I'm
Pierce.
streaking off spawn. Stay alive.
Yeah,
I'm
just
streaking
streak.
off
Just
spawn.
hide.
Cat dead. I'm trying.
I
Going.
streak time and
Two
P1.
time. P3 then.
P3.
P3. Last guy probably P3.
And that's where streaks come into play. So just when it looked like Seattle finally might have broken through and taken over those spawns, in fact, it does look like they were able to take over those spawns, even though Dashy did invest his streak. But that's what happens when you start to play with streaks, and I personally love it. I think if you go on a 6 spree, 7 spree, 8 spree, I think you should be rewarded for that, and you should have an opportunity to stop a push or gain rotations if you play together or whatever. So I'm a big fan of them, but right there you can just see that Scump has been absolutely frying. They've been doing a fantastic job of not only, and I want to make this point, Chicago did a really nice job of not only controlling the map and rotating early and gaining spawns, but when they didn't have spawns, you saw on that P2 second set of rotations, you saw Scump be able to push through, go on a streak, and there was not one point in time as Scump was going through that streak that they actually had rotations. They didn't take those spawns over. He was just able to make plays and just control that area and not give them points. So sure, every once in a while it comes down to who's rotating, who's gaining map control, who's getting there first. Other times it comes down to, okay, you might have it, but I'm just going to go off and keep you out of the hill, and that's what we saw. But as we look at the score here, 250 to 67. Scump ended up going 42 and 20. As you look at Dashy had 6,500 damage, so almost 1,000, more than 1,000 more damage. I wish that we could see what he did here, but as we look across to the right, Dashy had almost 10,000 score. If you're taking that into comparison, Gunless had 1,700 score, Pristini 1,700, Octane 1,600, Looney 1,300. I mean, those are just massive differences. So if you want to know why one team beat the other, it's pretty clear cut, right? Going on a streak and doing a ton of damage, that'll do it. So if you guys are new around here, you enjoy this sort of content, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, leave a like if if you like this video, as it really helps promote the channel. And with that, thank you guys so much. We will see you in tomorrow's upload.